Glowing up is just being more disciplined. Back in the day, I used to look like SpongeBob. And the thing that changes is obviously you grow up and you go through these physical transformations, but at the same time, being disciplined and having your life in order reflects in your outward appearance. It shows with your skin, it shows with your eyes, with the way you feel, with your confidence. You know, confidence is just a reflection of how chaotic or how disciplined and peaceful your internal world is. Because if you can zone in on the way you feel and understand that your life is going in the right direction and that you're doing the things you need to do, that you just have your goals in your mind and you know you're working towards your goals every day. That's the number one most important thing that I see a lot of people lacking, is just direction. If you have direction, then your transformation is going to be directed. Then your goals are going to reflect themselves and your achievements are just going to come naturally. I've always struggled with discipline. I've always found it really hard to stick to the really good things for me. You know, the things like reading, productive habits. And I found it always super easy to just slip up and be back where I started, you know, make zero progress, go back to the same habits that have been holding me back. And there's a question of, you know, being in a rut and what that does to your appearance as well. It just makes you look worse, even though you look the same. Being in a rut and being undisciplined just has this effect. It creates this background dis-ease within your mind that just shows in your skin, shows in your eye bags, under your eyes, with, you know, with the way you feel, the way you walk, your posture. And it's really hard to quantify this because it's kind of random, it's kind of generic. But when you can understand that it's not about being perfect, it's not about doing certain things so much, it's about doing the very important things, the simple and basic things very consistently over a long period of time. And this level of consistency is definitely something that can be tracked with your goals, your habits, and your progress in life. And it's not that hard, you know, some people say it's easier said than done, but in my opinion, it's easier done than said. All you got to do is just love the outcome of the person you are becoming and this transformation you're going through. And then you're going to find it automatic that you just take the habits and you do the things that are going to take you there. If I love the idea and image of a person, the person I am in the future who is more stoic, more wise, and more knowledgeable and intelligible, then wouldn't I take the actions and the steps like reading, like writing, like learning, like just spending my time in meaningful ways? I would. I definitely would take these initiatives towards becoming that person, because you identify what you want and then you work there. And that is where discipline comes in. Discipline is, you know, it's nice to feel motivated. It's nice to like love what you're going to do. And I've been more motivated than ever the past year and a half. But there was a time, you know, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when I started taking my improvement and my development seriously, there was a time where I literally had zero motivation. I would wake up and all I wanted to do was play Clash Royale on my phone. All I wanted to do was play Clash of Clans, just listen to music and just chill and do nothing. Play Fortnite, play CSGO, play all these games, you know, and just waste my time. I woke up and I had zero drive to actually do the things that are going to get me to where I wanted to be. But then over time, I began enjoying reading. I began enjoying these habits, writing, exercising, taking care of my body, my mind, my spirit, my health, and just being clear on where I wanted to go. And once I began to enjoy these things and love them and truly, you know, be inspired to take action every day, that's where motivation came in. And that's where my physical appearance, as well as the way I felt from the inside, started to change. My confidence started to change. I started attracting more people into my life. And keep in mind, I used to look like SpongeBob 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and I was not confident. And then this confidence came over time. And my natural state back then was being anxious and jittery and stressed out and worrying all the time. But now I'm leaning more towards a natural state of just being calm and relaxed and, you know, knowing your worth and being like, okay, if this happens, then there's a reason for it. If this happens, then it's fine. I have something else. And you're always confident and you're always self-reliant and grounded in yourself, in your transformation, in the way you feel from within. And that is the truth. That is what is going to take you miles ahead of everyone else. That is what is going to make the difference. That is what's going to improve your life quality by tenfold. It's not that hard, you know. Discipline is hard for people because they haven't truly sat down with themselves and understood that they actually love the outcome of the person they're becoming. They haven't really said to themselves and imagined and closed their eyes and imagine just a picture and an image of the person they want to become and just been like, I really want to be that person. I really aspire to achieve that dream life. Because once you make it so clear what you want out of this life and you just ask yourself, you know, who do you want to be? What do you want to do? What are your 5 biggest goals? Where do you want to spend your life. You know, what do you want to do with your life, and how are you going to achieve those things? How are you going to take the steps required? You're just creating a systemized process, which makes it infinitely easier to achieve your goals, to love your life. And if you love your life, it's going to show in the way you look. It's going to show in your appearance and what you attract and your confidence and your energy. I know this sounds wish-wash, this energy talk, this manifestation, but it's real, and I'm believing it more and more every single day. The more I embody the person I want to become, the more I fake it till I make it, the more I imagine myself as already having achieved the goals I want to achieve. The more I achieve the goals I want to achieve, the closer I get. If I want 1 million subs on YouTube, I want to grow, I have to act like somebody who has 1 million subs. I got to study my content. I got to spend the time that a person who has 1 million subs spends on his videos, on his thumbnails and titles, and be that dedicated. Because when you've identified that, you start asking yourself the very specific questions that are going to lead to solving the very specific problems. And those are the problems that matter. And once you master that key point, you know, discipline isn't going to matter anyways. You're just going to find yourself automatically productive and focused and disciplined, and everything just fits into place like this huge puzzle. And it just starts to make so much sense that you just find yourself on the right path all the time. And I'm saying that as a person who was on the wrong path, and I was just taking, you know, rash emotional decisions with everything. I was just spending way too much time on the bad habits and not spending enough time actually growing and developing myself. And it sucks. And you just find yourself in this dopamine hole where you're constantly, you know, you just want this dopamine hit from random things, and you have zero drive to do the work that actually matters. I was there for such a long time, and now I'm not. And I can say for certain that that was 100% because of the mindset shift. Glowing up is literally just about discipline. It's just about doing the right things. And it's less about, you know, your skincare routine, in my opinion, at least. It's less about it's definitely about what you eat, 100%, but it's also about the internal state, how you feel from within. And how you feel from within is determined by how aligned are your actions with your goals. If you have a goal for yourself, which is to become this person, and then you spend all your time doing everything opposite to that, then you're going to feel this chaos from within. And this chaos from within reflects itself as, you know, as physical signs that you're tired or you don't feel well. So it's about aligning your goals and your outcomes so that you have this alignment, this perfect synchronism that is going to get you to where you want to go. So if you want to glow up, a huge part of glowing up is just being more disciplined than ever.